Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with, at last, the Charles Mackerras Warner box, which brings together all of his recordings for EMI/HMV, Virgin, Pi Nixa. Let's see, who else? Let's see, Pi, Columbia Gramophone, Classics for Pleasure, Erato. He didn't do anything for Erato, I don't think, but they say that he did. Maybe he did. Who knows? I think Virgin and it's on the cusp there. But oh my goodness, this is really an important box because it has 63 CDs. And as a recording artist, he was all over the place. He didn't have one set label. And so he recorded for whoever would record him. And the recordings are marvelous because he was, without a doubt, the most versatile and reliable and musical and intelligent and brilliant podium genius in the second half of the 20th century. I mean, really, there were other conductors who had specialties in certain areas of the repertoire, but he did everything, and he did everything really well. And this gives you an excellent overview of what he did. And if you want 63 CDs of absolutely amazing conducting, for the most part, I mean, there are a couple things here and there, it's essential. I mean, you have to be crazy not to want this box. I mean, if you don't have all of the individual releases, like I said, which were on all kinds of labels and which were in and out of print and were hard to assemble. So that makes this really important. And we're going to go through it disc by disc. Get ready. Okay, so let me see if I can get the thing out here. Well, it's one of these sideways boxes, which is good. I mean, it's better because it's not going to fall and kill you when you take it off the shelf. However, it's a large box, which means you can't get your hand around it, so we have to do it. We'll do it this way. Carefully take this off. Put that there. There we go. And then we can tip it that way. And we're in business. Yeah. So we get the usual little bookie. It's a little perfunctory bookie. I mean, it could be better, but it's a decent enough essay. You get a little work list in the back. So okay, what the hell? We're past the point where you get really, really deluxe packaging because they don't want to spend the money. And these labels, they just don't care. And all right, is this the beginning or is this the end? That's the first question. CD 10. Okay, first 10 discs. You ready? Here we go. Handel, music for the Royal Fireworks Concerto a Due Corde. Original version. Oh, yes. Remember these? These were on Pi, I think. They then came out on Testament. And they were on EMI as well. I mean, everyone's reissued these. They were amazing. Actually, they've added some, other goodies here to make it a full 66-minute CD, which is really rather nice of them. So you've got the music for the Royal Fireworks and the original wind scoring, the first ever recording of that. This is that famous recording from the 50s where they got every oboe and bassoonist in London and they all got drunk, and at 12 at night and midnight, they all ran in there and did it once through. And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And it sounds like everyone was having a great time. And the Concerto a Due Corde in F major, which is absolutely fabulous. It's Mackerras' own edition. And we've got the Water Music Suite by Hamilton Hardy and the Berenice Overture, Jeremiah Clark's Trumpet Voluntary, Gordon Jacobs' Fanfare for God Save the King, and then God Save the King. So there you go. All kinds of interesting hoogies on one disc. It's a classic. It really is. Then we've got Messiah. All of it. By the way, this box has the operas, too. It's not like those other boxes where they do orchestral music and they don't want to do the operas because it's harder. It's more expensive, in terms of like royalties and things to reissue them. So this is based on Handel's own performances. It has a fantastic cast of soloists: Elizabeth Harwood, Janet Baker, Paul Eswood, Robert Tier, Raymond Herrings, the Ambrosian Singers, the English Chamber Orchestra, and it's noteworthy for using epic quantities of ornamentation based on what they did in Handel's day, actually. It's not a period instrument performance, but it's a period performance, practice performance. It's a PPPP for them. Yes, it is. And it's marvelous. It's absolutely fantastic. It never got as much attention as like the Colin Davis Messiah, which was contemporaneous on Philips and which got, plugged to death. I don't know why. I don't know why this one never got as much attention. I remember you could only get it on French EMI. It was so weird. I mean, the way Mackerras was treated by his labels was like so shabby. It was icky, yuck. Okay, then we've got the other fireworks music with the London Symphony Orchestra. This is the remake. It's not the original version. It's in the original version for wind band. Yes, it is the original version, but in those days you could get all these people together, pardon me, with the London Symphony. And it's also got the Concerto a Due Corde and Concerto Grosso in F major and Concerto Grosso in D major, all arranged by Mackerras. This was because that Pi Nixa thing wasn't always available, so he redid it. There we are. That was the original version. What was I thinking? I was thinking of the water music, and here's the water music he did with the Prague Chamber Orchestra. All of these recordings are marvelous. Let's face it. Mackerras and Handel, Mackerras and Mozart, Mackerras and Beethoven. I mean, classical period, he was just amazing. And the Baroque stuff is stylish and exciting, and it's wonderful hearing the Prague Chamber Orchestra, which is just has amazing wind players. Handel Concerti Grossi Opus 3. You get them with the Prague Chamber Orchestra again. This is one of those wonderful recordings that nobody remembers. We talk about great recordings of Handel Concerti Grossi, and now it's all period instruments and stuff. But even then, Opus 3 is the stepchild of the Concerti Grossi by Handel, because Opus 6 is the big deal. And there you go. Opus 3, and it's lovely. Maurice Andre, trumpet concertos. Mackerras is the accompanist to, they're lovely Baroque trumpet concertos. The Golden Guinea Collector Series. Oh boy, is that a wonderful title. The Golden Guinea. I could say something more about that, but I'm not. I will not. The Golden Guinea Collector Series. Look at that. That's what it was on. Yeah. Mackerras always was relegated to budget labels, even Golden Guineas. Mozart. Divertimento number 1 in E-flat, German dances, 2 minuets, and the ballet, Les Petits Riens. Really, really cool. Rare Mozart. Fabulously done. It's just wonderful. Mozart Piano Concertos 20 and 23 with the London Phil and Alan Schiller, pianist. Performances are good. I don't think we've heard much more from Alan Schiller since this was done. It's the W.D.A. Howells Master Series. So these like vanity productions and strangely subsidized things. I don't know. There's Mozart with the London Phil. Symphonies 36 and 38. Okay, now we're cracking. Mozart is, of course, a Mackerras specialty. He's always at his best at Mozart. So, and we are the beneficiaries therefrom. Next batch of 10-ish. Mozart 4041 with the London Phil. Yay! He redid this. He recorded these multiple times. There are at least 3 or 4 recordings of like the late symphonies. They're the ones on Lind, and he redid them on Telarc in a much more periody fashion with harpsichord continuo and all that. But gee whiz, this is really great. Then we've got the flute concerto with Jonathan Snowden, flute, and the Symphony Concertante, the wind one, Kerschel 297B, which I still think isn't really by Mozart. But here they are, and they're done as well as they probably ever will be. Barbara Fridley sings Mozart with the Scottish Chamber Orchestra. Oh, this was Erato. Yeah. There you go. There's the Erato. This was late. And Barbara Fridley was fabulous. She's the, what is she? She's Elettra, I think, in his Idomeneo. And she sings really, really well. So you've got arias from Così fan tutte, The Marriage of Figaro, Idomeneo. Yeah, of course, Don Giovanni. And the aria, Bella Mia Fiamma Addio, concert aria. It's a 10-minute long concert aria. So that's a lovely disc. And here is Idomeneo. Now, this Idomeneo is quite something. It's the most complete Idomeneo anybody ever attempted to do, with like everything in order. You even get the ballet music at the end. And it's 3 hours and 20 minutes, 78, 68, and 55. So it's, well, you take away 5, add 8. Yeah, it's about that. It's really, really long, and it's amazingly dramatic and incisive and fabulously well sung with Ian Bostridge, Lorraine Hunt Lieberson. She's Idamonte. She's marvelous. Lisa Milne, Barbara Fridley is Electra. I was right. Anthony Rolfe Johnson, tenor, and some other people. But it's a really great cast, and the Scottish Chamber Orchestra, just fantastic. The sonics on that recording were not fabulous. It favors the voices, but still, I mean, they're good voices, so okay. Then we've got his Beethoven Symphony Cycle, the better of the two that he did, actually, with the Royal Philharmonic. Here it is, not the Royal Philharmonic, the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic. There we go. There it is, and it's just great. As you might expect, it's period influenced, but you have a big, beefy, genuine orchestra that plays just marvelously for him. And, you know, I mean, the Royal Liverpool Phil, you know, they're not one of the greater British orchestras. I mean, here they are, but, you know, they weren't usually. And although they made wonderful recordings, they didn't get to do Beethoven cycles every day. So this was meaningful. He remade them on Hyperion, you may recall, with the Scottish Chamber Orchestra, also a very good cycle, but it was live. This is studio, really hot, wonderful, wonderful performances. Noteworthy in the fifth, he includes the contrabassoon parts throughout the whole symphony, playing with the double basses, because he reasoned, quite sensibly, that the reason Beethoven mentions it in the finale is because, you know, it's a separate part, but it's hard to believe that a contrabassoonist would sit through the whole symphony doing absolutely nothing, especially when a contrabassoon really doesn't contribute all that much anyway. So he lets the guy play. You don't really hear it that much, but I mean, it's typical of his thoughtfulness, his approach to performance. It's a combination of scholarship and practicality and common sense that we just don't hear anymore, because today's artists are so lazy. You know, we've got critical editions of everything, and you just play what's on the page, and poof, you get authenticity. Mackerras was before that. First of all, he had to create his own authenticity, and second of all, he just didn't do anything that didn't make sense. And that's such an important, simple thing that we should expect from our artists, and so seldom get. Then we got the Beethoven and Mendelssohn violin concertos with the Orchestra of the Age of Enlightenment and Monica Huggett, who's a Baroque violinist. I mean, there are very, very few performances of these works on period instrument violins with period instrument violinists. Huggett is an excellent violinist. I'm not sure this is totally successful. I really am not. I don't find these performances to be all that captivating, but they're well done for what they are. You know what I mean? I can't fault them for making the attempt. And in those days, it was more an experiment. It wasn't a preachy, a preachy sort of sanctimonious, finger-pointing effort to tell us that everything we've listened to up to now has been wrong. I mean, Mackerras, who I knew pretty well, actually, his attitude was, let's try it, let's hear it, let's see what happens. If it isn't great, let's just do our best and make it as great as we can and see what happens. And they do, and I can't argue with that. Schubert 5 and 8, with the 8th completed by Brian Newbold and the Rosamund incidental music. So with the Orchestra of the Age of Enlightenment. This current recording is based on the hypothesis that the B minor entr'acte from Rosamund was originally conceived as the finale of the Unfinished, and so there you go. So it's pretty good. You can hear it as the finale of the symphony, or in the context of Rosamunde with the following ballet music. Yes, because it's at the end of the symphony. So it's either the end of the symphony or the beginning of the ballet music. And they even have a little bracket here on the back. See a little bracket? So it tells you where each bunch of music belongs. It's rather clever, actually. These are beautiful performances. They're very exciting and fresh and vibrant and lovely. And they were on Virgin. They're now on Erato. So Then we've got the great C major. I do not regard this as one of Mackerras's better performances. Some of you will be shocked to hear that. But I've always found this performance to be just a little bit, the word isn't flabby, but it's not as well disciplined orchestrally as I think it needs to be. And the tempo relationships, particularly from the introduction to the first movement and whatnot, keep the piece flowing more or less at a single speed, but it's so long with all the repeats and all this stuff. I mean, it just needs more contrast. It really does, to me, for me anyway. I mean, it's 59 minutes long. It's lively. It's got beautiful moments, but and a scherzo, which actually kind of makes sense. But I think Mackerras has done better work elsewhere, and so there you have it. The one deficit, not really, but it's not as great as many others. Favorite ballet music. Oh, this is an early recording. Studio 2, stereo, it says, whatever that means. Coppelia, Sylvia, Faust, William Tell. Yes, oh, this is wonderful stuff. I mean, Mackerras was great at light music, as we all know. It's just tremendous. We've got the bits of Berlioz, Damnation of Faust, Les Troyens, Roman Carnival, Glinka's Ruslan and Ludmila, Mussorgsky's Sorochinsky Fair, Glazunov Concert Waltz No. 1, The Snow Maiden Dance of the Tumblers. Yay, I love that. The Flight of the Bumblebee, The Red Poppy Russian Sailor's Dance, and The Procession of the Sardar with the Philharmonia. Just delicious. Mendelssohn Italian, and overture and incidental music from the Midsummer Night's Dream, again with the orchestra of the Age of Enlightenment. It's quite good. It really is. It's very, very good. And, here with, the period instrument stuff, it goes better than it did at the Schubert Ninth. It really does. But again, I don't find any of these orchestra of the Age of Enlightenment performances to be as wonderful as the best, simply because, Mackerras notwithstanding, it was terrific. They weren't great. They weren't a great orchestra. So, there's not much you can do. You can make them play fabulously well. You could put it all together wonderfully. You could interpret it terrifically. But at the end of the day, the players are what they are. Is what they were. Okay, Chopin, Les Sylphides, ballet music. Ponchielli, The Dance of the Hours, The Skaters by Meyerbeer, and Tchaikovsky, Sleeping Beauty Waltz, Eugene Onegin Waltz, Swan Lake Waltz, Symphony No. 5 Waltz. Okay. The Nutcracker Suite, Waltz of the Flowers, an 80-minute CD of ballet music. And you may have guessed it, waltzes. They're just delightful, wonderful. Okay, The Lady and the Fool. This is mono, if I'm not mistaken, because it was, yes. This was last on Testament. This is one of Mackerras's ballet arrangements, as Pineapple Paul would become, the really famous one. But this is his arrangement of Verdi. He was a fabulous Verdi conductor. And he took all the weird ballet music from all the strange Verdi operas that nobody knew and created a ballet, The Lady and the Fool. And it's wonderful. It's marvelous. And it's just vintage Verdi. And it's his first association with the Philharmonia Orchestra. This was recorded way, way back in 1955. One of his earliest recordings. It's just really cool that he did these things. HMV Concert Classics. Then we get the actual overtures and ballet music by Verdi, some of which appeared in The Lady and the Fool. So we've got the Trovatore ballet music, the Sicilian Vespers ballet. That's huge. The Four Seasons. It's a big sucker. And La Forza del Destino Overture, Nabucco, Alzira, Louisa Miller, Othello ballet music, which is wonderful. It's only 6 minutes, but it's great. It was done for the French production. We don't ever hear it, and it really is fabulous. And Delibes Lacme ballet music from Act 2. Oh, gosh. Love this stuff. What is this? Great opera duets. Caballé and oh, yes, and Bernabe Marti, tenor. So there you go. With the London Symphony and Mackerras. So you've got duets from, Verdi, Ballo, Meyerbeer, the Huguenots, Giordano, Andrea Chenier, Puccini's Man on Lescaut, Donizetti's Poliuto. Caballé is better than Bernabe Marti, but what the hell? Let's see. What's this thing? Götterdämmerung. Highlights. Yay! With Rita Hunter, Alberto Remedios, the London Philharmonic, and Charles Mackerras. Yeah, this is hot. I remember this being just really cool. I mean, we know what's her name? Rita Hunter and Alberto. I was going to say Roberto. Rita Hunter and Alberto Remedios. They, sang in the Goodall Ring, the one that got recorded. That, God, if only Mackerras had been the conductor of that ring cycle in English, as he did so many other operas in English for Chandos and for, it just would have been amazing. It really would have, with these singers. At least we have that. Just goes to show you what we missed. Offenbach, Gaieté Parisienne, Strauss, Graduation Ball Ballet, which is arranged by Dorati. So this is fun, and a bunch of other goodies by Strauss: Perpetuum Mobile, Thunder and Lightning, the Tritz Trash Polka, and some of those little dancey things are first released, previously unpublished. Go for it. More Delibes, La Source, ballet music from Act 2, Messager, The Two Pigeons, ballet suite, Gounod, Faust, ballet music. Again, he did that a few times. Chabrier, Espagne, and Le Roi Malgré Lui, the Fête Polonaise, with the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, the Philharmonia. Nobody did this stuff better, really nobody. What's this thing? Oh yeah. Oh, this was great. Of course it was great. This was on Virgin. This is now Arado. Pictures in an Exhibition, A Night on Bald Mountain, and Prince Igor, the Polovtsian Dances with choir. Blech. I hate it with choir, but what could you do, right? The performances are hot, hot, hot. I mean, this is just, that's what's so cool about Mackerras. He could jump from Handel's water music to Pictures in an Exhibition, and they're just marvelous. Absolutely marvelous, exciting as hell. One thing about Mackerras is he was always exciting. He had so much energy and so much musical point to what he did. Tchaikovsky, Piano Concerto No. 3, the Litov Concerto Symphonique No. 4, the Weber Concertstück, Saint-Saëns Wedding Cake, Torino's Rhapsodia Symphonica with Joseph Cooper, the Pro Arti Orchestra. This was on Pi. And let's see, when were these recorded? 1956, 58, it looks like. Another pianist that nobody's heard much of. And a fabulous program. Really just a wonderful program of interesting music. 1812 Overture. Oh, yeah, with the London Phil. And peoples, bands, and the Royal Horse Artillery, and he just pulls out all the stops. And you get Glinka, Ruslan, and Ludmila, the Wagner Prelude to Act 3 of Lohengrin, A Night on Bald Mountain, again, Till Eulenspiegel, and Don Juan. Mackerras was also a fabulous Strauss conductor because he kept it light. He kept the textures aerated. He knew how to sustain the endless long line, and really just marvelous fun. So yeah, absolutely. That was on Classics for Pleasure originally, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was. There we go. Or at least some of it was. Because I had some of that stuff. There's a big EMI Classics for Pleasure box. Do you remember that? It wasn't around very long. I have it. And it has a lot of this Mackerras stuff in it. So it wasn't like you couldn't get this stuff in a box. You actually could sometimes. So what's this? Oh, Dvorak. Oh, gosh. Well, all of his Czech music, as you know. Janáček, Dvorak, Suk, whatever we did. He's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And so we get Dvorak 8th with the symphonic variations. The New World in the 7th. These are with the London Phil. Legends, all of them. Glorious pieces. Just marvelous miniatures. The Romance with violin, the Nocturne Opus 40 with the English Chamber Orchestra. So those three to Dvorak. Oh, look, Dvorak String Serenade and Wind Serenade also. Yes, his Czech music is essential. Absolutely essential and totally wonderful. These discs tend to pop out, but at least they're in these sturdy paper sleeves with sort of original jackets and all that. That's really nice. Then we've got, let's see, Dvorak's of 4 Slavonic dances, the Bartered Bride Polka and Furia, Brahms Hungarian dances, 2 of those, Bartok's Romanian folk dances, and the Ionescu Romanian Rhapsody #1, which is a Lollapalooza with the Philharmonia. This must have also been from like the 50s or something, right? 1960, 59, 60, yeah, in there. 48 minutes worth of stuff. Columbia, the original Sadler's Wells Orchestra recording of Pineapple Paul. This is Mackerras' arrangement. Sorry, this is Finster's over here. Honey, you got to wait till I'm done. Okay? All right, come on, down, down, down. Good girl. Okay. I hope. Oh. Come here. Come here. Oh, there we go. You can come over here. All right, that's a good girl. Let's see if she stays there. Okay, yes. This was the arrangement of unusual Gilbert and Sullivan opera tunes as a ballet. It's just fabulous. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. And it's with the Sadler's Wells Orchestra. It's a, let me see, when was this recorded? Columbia, my goodness. First release on Columbia Gramophone. And then Classics for Pleasure. Yeah, it's in mono. Part of it was in mono. I mean, is it all in mono? And then it was released in stereo as well. Yeah, okay, good. So 1956. There we go. And you also get overtures, The Yeoman of the Guard, The Mikado, Iolanthe, and Ruddigore. His Sullivan was, well, I mean, remember, he reconstituted the Sullivan Cello Concerto. So, you know, he was the Sullivan guy. And Sullivan being England's greatest ever composer, you know, it's like no small thing. I wish he'd done more. I mean, I really do when it came to Sullivan. But anyway, we've also got Pineapple Paul, again, with the Royal Philharmonic. This is a remake from, when was this? From 1960? 1960? Is that what it looks like? Yeah. Yeah, it looks like 1960. And it's all these performances are terrific. He also made a recording of it for Decca. Then we got the Pineapple Paul Suite and the Lady and the Fool Suite with the London Phil. So there you go. I mean, you know, he milked it a little, and you know, he was entitled to do that. What have we got here? Janáček, Sinfonietta, and 4 opera overtures. This came out at the same time as that Handel original fireworks music, you know, original wind band scoring thing. And it was also re-released on Testament. And it's a great performance at the Sinfonietta. It's early. You know, the sonics are not as fabulous as they later became. But it was our first taste of Mackerras' Janáček. And wow, his best Janáček versions finally were made for Superfon toward the end of his life, and they're available that way. He redid them for Decca with the Vienna Phil as well, but the Superfon recordings are more exciting. This one is really great too. Elgar, Enigma Variations, and Falstaff with the London Phil. Oh, these are good. These are exciting, and they were really well recorded. Are these the early digital ones? Let me just make sure I have this right. Yeah, 95 they were. And they're just really exciting performances. He was a great Elgarian. His Elgar was on Argo. So we have to hope that Decca will also do a Mackerras box. I mean, God knows he deserves it, because that has his Elgar, his Delius, you know, Joseph Suk, a lot of other things. And of course, all the Janáček operas and all that stuff. You know, well, we'll see. At least we are getting it from Warner. Edward Elgar, Romance in D minor, Sullivan, Cello Concerto with Andrew Lloyd Webber. This was the premiere recording. And actually, you know, really kind of amazing. This reconstructed version of the Cello Concerto. It's not a great work. It's a light work, and it's like 18 minutes long, but it's fun. And it's lovely to have. And the Victor Herbert Cello Concerto #2, which is marvelous. It was the inspiration for the Dvorak Concerto, and it's a beautiful work. So there's that. Then we've got Caballé. Well, I mean, this is a famous Caballé, Caballé recital. A lot of people first heard about Mackerras because he conducted the Puccini aria recital with Caballé. You know, so yes. That was really cool. And then we get the last pile here. Oh, yeah, Mahler 1. Mackerras did quite a bit of Mahler. In fact, the last time I saw him, it was because I had done some research in the Morgan Library here in New York, and I was looking at Mahler manuscripts because I was annoyed with the percussion parts in Von der Schönheit. You know, the big eruption, da 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 da, bum 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 bum. You know, it sounds like the 1812 overture a little bit, and you know, you have this timpani pounding and the bass drum roll, and some people have a cymbal roll, and some people had a snare drum and a triangle, and what kind of cymbal was it? It was very strange, and the two scores I had didn't agree, and so I wanted to see what Mahler actually wrote, and I went back and I checked, and it seems that nobody actually has what Mahler actually wrote. So I copied what Mahler actually wrote, which was actually a triangle roll, then suspended cymbal, and then other things. And, the order in which things come in was different. And I gave it to Mackerras, and he said he was going to use it. I've told this story before, but yes, it was a good story. So, he was doing Das Lied von der Erde, actually, in Scotland. And he said he was going to incorporate that emendation. And I also sent it to Henri-Louis de Lagrange, who fortunately was able to mention it, or Sybil Werner, who worked with him in the Mahler biographies, was able to mention the fact that the percussion parts need to be fixed. I wonder if they were. I think they may have been in that latest critical edition that Barenreiter issued. I think we talked about that, didn't we? I checked it. Anyway, so it's a wonderful Mahler 1. It really is. It's beautiful. It's the Royal Liverpool Phil, again, which played wonderfully for him. He gets so much right in the texture, in the funeral march, the soft tam-tam thingies. And it's just wonderful to hear him look at the score, take it seriously, and do it without any fuss or bother. It's just exciting, natural, effortless, thrilling Mahler. It's just great. And even better, we have the 5th. This is one of the great number 5s. It's fascinating to me. This is a symphony everybody screws up. And then Mackerras waltzes in with the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic and just plays the crap out of it. And it's such a salutary thing. It really is, when you see somebody who's just an amazing musician. And we have Des Knaben Wunderhorn. This is just fabulous. It's absolutely great. Probably it was like among the best until the Chailly came along, which was like even more complete-ish. But this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's with Anne Murray, Thomas Allen, the London Phil. And then you've got Max Reger's An die Hoffnung and the Berg 7 early leader, 3 of those with Christa Ludwig. Wow, baby. That's really, really cool. This was part of the Christa Ludwig. See, there she was. Christa Ludwig recital. He worked with great singers. He really did. And they loved him. He was just the ideal accompanist. So that was wonderful. Then we've got Delius. Oh, this is a great Delius record. Paris, The Song of a Great City, the violin concerto and the cello concerto with Raphael Wallfisch and Tasman Little. Paris is a wonderful tone poem. It really is. It's 20 minutes of, big orchestra yumminess. Really just fabulous. And the concerti, which nobody really cares about, are beautiful. The violin concerto is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Never gets played because it's just one long rhapsodic melody that lasts for like 20 minutes or so, 22 minutes. It's not long enough. It's not virtuosic enough. And the cello concerto, which nobody much cares for, is just as lovely in many respects. Really great that he did these things. So there's that. Rachmaninoff, Symphony No. 3 and Symphonic Dances. Fabulous. The symphonic dances are thrilling, but the Symphony No. 3, nobody... It's the stepchild of the Rachmaninoff symphonies. Now it is, actually, because the first is kind of risen higher in people's estimation. And the third, everybody always thought was kind of a weak effort comparatively. Not here. Oh, does this fly along excitingly? And it sounds like a masterpiece. In Mackerras' hands, why are we surprised? Another one. The Planets. Oh, this is the Perfect Fool ballet music. Also with the Royal Liverpool. This is a great series. Everything he did in Liverpool was marvelous. Really, it's first rate. Absolutely just doesn't put a foot wrong anywhere. It's fresh, it's rhythmic, it's colorful, it's well recorded. It's just one of the great ones. Oh, look at this. A Wolf Ferrari disc with the Philharmonia. This is also mono, or I think it was mono. Well, no, there were stereo bits of it. So that's okay. Yeah, they say that it had mono releases and stereo releases. Remember they used to release things in both formats back in the day. So this looks like 1 through 7 are mono, and 8 through 14 are stereo, except for something or other. I can't even make sense of this stuff, frankly. It sounds fine. Let's put it that way. You get the Secret of Susanna Overture, the I Quattro Rosteghi comic opera overture and intermezzo, the suite from the Jewels of the Madonna, which is a really bloodthirsty, fabulous opera with a wonderful Neapolitan dance at the end. Then we've got Donizetti, the Daughter of the Regiment overture, Don Pasquale. It's a fun overture. And, the Three-Cornered Hat ballet music, Smetana's Barter Bride overture, and the Schwanda der Dudelsack Pfeifer polka and fugue. Oh, I got stuck playing that in band once. Dum ba da dum ba da dum ba da 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 da. Oh wow, it was painful. Oh, look at this. Yeah, Havergal Bryan, Symphonies 7 and 31 with the Tinker's Wedding Overture. You're not going to hear them better done than you have them here. You are not. As usual with Mackerras, you could give him any weird piece of music and he would just go to town on it. Foul, as he did on The Rite of Spring. It wasn't weird by then, of course, but gosh, this is a good... I keep saying this is great, this is terrific, this is wonderful, but what can I tell you? Fabulous Rite of Spring, Fireworks, Circus Polka, Greeting Prelude, and all on one handy disc. This was a terrific disc. It really is. And then we've got, oh, look at this. Favorite music of Eric Coates with the London Symphony. This was on Columbia back in the day, in 1927. It was on Classics for Pleasure eventually. So you've got Eric Coates, lots of stuff. The Merrymakers, Summer Days, bits of them anyway. The Three Men Suite, one of them, The Man from the Sea. The London Again Suite, the Oxford Street March. The Three Bears Fantasy Suite. By the Sleepy Lagoon, yes. And the Three Elizabeths, Queen Elizabeth March. So there's some Eric Coates faves. Then you've got the Donna Diana Overture by von Reznicek, Paul Burkhardt, the Hunting Parson Overture, and Copland, El Salon, Mexico, Quiet City, Rodeo's Hoedown, and 2 movements from Dag Viren's Serenade for Strings. What a grab bag of stuff. Can I tell you? Oh, look at this. Remember this? We were talking about this just the other day. Walton, Symphonies number 1 and 2, and Siesta in the middle. The second symphony is magnificent. The first symphony is very, very good. I mean, it really is one of the great conducting performances of it. It sounds sonically, I think it was live, one of these. Am I not kidding, or was I kidding? I don't know. But one of these was not recorded as well. The first symphony is just a little lacking in sharpness. And the first symphony is all about sharpness. It's not Mackerras' fault. But one is with the London Phil and one is with the London Symphony. That was the difference. The London Phil has number 1. But it's still, they're wonderful performances. They really are. Elizabeth Schwarzkopf Christmas album. You must be kidding. Yes, there she is. I mean, that enough said. Folk Songs of the British Isles, which is with the London Symphony and like millions of people. And Peter Dawson Sings. Folk Songs of the British Isles, and Peter Dawson sings a couple things. Clancy of the Overflow and Mandalay Scene Medley. Okay, Pops Records. Nice folk songs. British Isle had lovely folk songs. And then we've got this thing, A Little Nonsense, with Owen Brannigan. This is just lovely. Charles Mackerras and the Pro Artie Orchestra, A Little Nonsense, and Sing the Songs of Britain with Owen Brannigan, Elizabeth Harwood, the Hendon Grammar School Choir, the Pro Artie Orchestra, and a lot of Mackerras doing his own arrangements of this stuff. So, I mean, this is a really complete box and a wonderful way to say goodbye to a genius conductor. It's just beyond beyond amazing. Let me see if I can put these back. I hope you have gathered by now that if you don't own this box, your life is empty and meaningless, and you need a new reason to exist. I mean, really, seriously. It's just amazing. A great man, terrific guy, kind, wonderful person who simply lived music and loved it and was fascinated by it, and who conveyed that love and that fascination and the sheer joy of being involved in it, in everything that he did. I mean, let's be serious. Who else was there who was, remotely like him? If I put this away, I put it away backwards. And there really wasn't anybody. I mean, there really wasn't. He was just incredible, and incredible in virtually everything he did. So I await more boxes. God forbid Telarc should do one. But anyway, in the meantime, here it is. Total greatness in a box. Can't go wrong, folks. You can't. Get it while you can. It's not going to last forever, I can tell you that. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.